I'm Shannon. Thanks so much for watching. I am going to be demoing how to correctly brush your hair, and then I'm going to do a soft wave tutorial afterwards. I feel like most people know how to brush their hair, but sometimes the correct information slips through the cracks. This is just my natural air-dried hair. I don't have a ton of like curl or texture in the front or anything, but the back is really curly. It's really wavy. It kind of just air dries like this. I didn't always have hair like this, but just within the last couple years, my hair texture really changed in the back, and sometimes that makes it a little bit harder to brush out because not only do I have that curlier hair in the back, but I'm also obviously not a natural blonde, and so because I have that chemical texture in there, it just makes it a little bit harder to brush out. We love chemical texture. That's obviously like what makes your hair hold a curl really well. It gives you a ton of volume, but that's also what makes your hair a little bit drier, a little bit more prone to breakage, and just overall more tangly. So I'm going to demonstrate how to brush that out correctly. This is what I recommend to everybody. It's just a wet brush. These are awesome. They are everywhere, but the bristles on these are super bendy and just relaxed, and so you can get through tangles really easily. This is one of the brushes that I'll usually keep in the shower too, that way when I have my mask in I can brush through that. The bristles are just really nice for brushing through any kind of tangles. The first thing that I'll do before I start brushing out is I will prime my hair with the Kerastase 8-Hour Magic Night Serum. This is just really nice to add into the hair before you start brushing so that it detangles a little bit better, and it just adds all that moisture back into the hair. So I'll usually do like 2.5 pumps, just about a dime size. And then this is really nice too because the brush will work this in a little bit better than I can with my fingers. I'm going to start on one side, and I'm going to start all the way at the very end. So just like that last like 3 or 4 inches there, and just make sure that has no tangles in it. And I'm going to grab my ponytail a little bit higher and brush through that. You really don't want to rip through your hair. If you reach a tangle, you kind of just want to let the brush do the work. Let those bristles just like bend through the hair. Usually they'll get out, but if you have a really tough tangle, just sit there for a minute with it. Don't yank through it. When you have thicker hair, you can't just brush it from the top. You have to go underneath too to make sure that all those tangles by the nape of your neck are out. Okay, so that side's good. And now I'll work on the other side. If you see hair flying off into the air while you're doing this, you're brushing too hard. So I'm just working my way up a little bit higher and a little bit higher. I'm going to take my front, I'm going to work on this. So I'm all detangled. That's perfect. And we'll move on to curling. This is the curling iron that I always use. This is the Bioionic Pro Long Barrel. 1 1/4 is pretty much all I use on myself and on my clients. I just think it gives like the nicest soft waves. I just think it's the best. 360 is the highest that I will ever go for any client, for myself. I just don't think it needs to be above that. But I'm gonna wait for this to heat up. I am going to use the Mystify Orbe spray. This is just a heat protectant. This is awesome. This is part of the Gold Lust line, so it is reparative, which is really nice if you are blonde or chemically processed or are experiencing any kind of damage or anything like that. I do like a couple sprays from like that underneath section, and then I'll do like a couple in front and then a couple in back. Okay, so how I section my hair is I take kind of a circle in back, so I leave my hairline out and I'll just do a little circle like that, so it kind of separates it into top and bottom. I'll twist it, boom, just right over the top of that bun. Okay, so I separate out my sides left and right. I will work from the back forward, and I'm just going to take a section from the back. So this will be the first thing I curl. The reason I work from back to front is because I just want to be able to take this hair and throw it over my shoulder and not worry about it and not get it like confused with any of this hair. I do smooth out my hair just once or twice with the iron before I start curling, because I do have those waves back there. Normally they don't bother me, but just to make sure that nothing is super like super wavy, I will smooth those out. So I smoothed that out once, and then I put my iron at the top of that hair, and I just do like 2 curls around. And then this is the hardest part. So that top curl, I'm going to let that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen my iron just a tiny little bit, and then just kind of like drop that first curl out. And then I'm going to keep spinning the iron and pull it down a little bit. Okay, so then that top curl, I'm just going to kind of loosen the iron, and that's going to fall right off. And then I just leave my ends out. So that's kind of what I'll do. Then I'll just drag the iron down. And then I'm going to throw that over my shoulder and not worry about it. I'll take my next piece. So separate that. And you're going to do 2 curls around. That first curl, we're going to let it go. So I'm just going to do a little bit of pressure and just kind of loosen the iron, and that first curl is going to fall off. Okay, and then that next one, so loosen that pressure, and then those curls just fell off, and then just dragging it over the ends. Okay, so now we've got our second. I'm going to throw that over your shoulder. I usually vary the direction that I'll curl my hair in. I don't have a pattern for it. I kind of just whenever I remember to switch, I'll switch. It just kind of depends, but same thing. I'm going to smooth that out. Okay, 2 curls around. That first curl is gonna go, and I'm just gonna pull the iron down a little bit until that first curl falls off. Keep spinning the iron, then let that second one off, and that third one off, and then just pull over the ends. I like the piece of hair that is right in front of my ears to be curled forward. And the reason I curl this piece forward, like towards my face instead of away from my face, is because if every single hair around my face is curled away from my face, then I just am not happy. I don't think it's as pretty. Okay, I'm actually going to leave my front pieces for last because that's really important. And then I'll switch to the other side. So same thing. I have worked my way to the kind of the front section. So this piece is going to lie right in front of my ear here. So that I'm going to curl towards my face. I'm going to make my way to the top here. So I'm going to take this clip out. So I'm going to section out side by side. Again, starting in the back, smoothing it out. If it's not smooth, it's not going to be shiny. So it is important to do that. And letting that top curl out. And then that second curl out. Third curl out. And then just sliding over the ends. Keep your iron vertical, because that is what's going to give it that super relaxed curl instead of like a super like bouncy curl. And the more iron you use up, like the more hair that is like dispersed over the iron, that is also what's going to make it be like a relaxed curl, because it's not going to be like so ringlety, which is why I like the long barrel. So it just kind of drags the curl out a little bit more. So you can see the difference between this, which used up like the whole iron, where I'm not holding it vertical, and that hair is just like wrapping around itself. If you just have like a bunch of hair like wrapped over itself, you're gonna be able to tell the difference between something like this and then something like this. This is like just a lot bouncier of a curl, whereas, this is just like a lot more relaxed. This is just not my style whatsoever. If you accidentally curl your hair too much at the ends like that, and it is that bouncier curl, all you need to do is just like kind of like make sure there's only like one-ish curl on your iron, and just like really like drag it down. And then that'll like relax it a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna leave that front piece still. I'm not gonna finish it yet. I'm gonna work on this side and then I'll come back. Everything's done except for these front pieces. So I'm gonna show you how I like to do them so that it's just like really pretty and soft and like nice and drapey. I'm gonna smooth out all this hair and I'm going to bring it to like the very center of my forehead here. And this is what's going to help it kind of like, it's going to come down towards the front first before it goes away. So if you start and you curl these pieces back here on the side of your head, that's where they're going to lay. If you curl them up here, that's where they're going to lay. They're going to be like a little more like in the eyes, in the face. And away from your face, keep your iron super, super vertical and bring that like right to the center of your face. Clamp. And do a nice curl. Let that top curl go, and that second one, and that third one, and then slide it over the ends. I'm gonna leave that like that for a second. If you curl this piece and you push it to the side right away and bring it over here, that's how it's gonna cool and that's how it's gonna stay, and so that's where it's gonna live. But if you kind of like let it chill here for a minute and cool like that, it's going to just live in the face a little bit better. So same with the other side. I'm going to smooth this out all the way to the center and then curl, 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 like right in the face. This is where you want it to live. It's going to fake that curtain bang. It's going to look a lot just more relaxed, more beachy, less refined of a curl. So letting those go, dragging it over. Okay, so now I have this. If anything looks like it's a little bit too curly, you can slide the iron over it just slightly. Turn your iron off. Okay. So this is kind of where these guys are living. I can tell that like up here it's pretty cool. I'll use my fingers first and I'll just kind of see how I like it. And then usually I will take my brush after and just kind of brush everything. So dragging down with your brush and then fluffing it up like this with your hands. So down and then up, down and then up, down and then up. That kind of gives you like that really soft texture too. So down, up. It makes everything not live so closely together so that your curls don't like bunch up or anything like that. And then those front pieces are exactly how I like them. I think every woman on the planet thinks that their face is chubby, and so this helps with that too. If you feel like you really want like, you know, like better cheekbones right where these go out, that's going to emphasize like your cheekbones right here, and then those curls that go back in, that's going to make your face look skinnier. It fakes bone structure basically. But that is how I'll curl my hair. I want to do another tutorial about like, it's my signature, it's the lazy girl curl, but this is just a quick, simple way. All you need, one tool, one spray, and this is it. This is how you kind of get just like a really soft wave. Thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope that you learned something and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and brush your hair exactly how I told you to do. And if you want to get this very relaxed curl, now you guys know how to do it. If you guys want to see more content like this, make sure that you are following me and that you like this video and tell all of your friends. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!